Yes, so why don't you introduce yourselves briefly about your business, and then we can have a conversation.
Yeah. My name is Lisa. I'm one of the co-founders of My Webwill, together with Elin. We've known each other for how long? 28 years. Almost.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. So we had quite a few
you
projects.
You in college?
Thank you for that. No. And about a year and a half ago, we started a company called My Webwill, which is basically a service where you can decide what's going to happen with your online accounts after death. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think that covers it.
Good.
Yeah.
You want to say a couple of words about who you are?
Well, I'm Peter Majanen. I'm running a future forecasting company, Stockholm.
And, well, you know I'm the center director at Konstfack for SSES. And Peter and I wanted to talk to you all about the future of death. Because, I mean, we can get back to the business as well, but maybe to have a little bit more of a visionary kind of conversation from an entrepreneurial point of view, because in effect, you're really designing the future of death in a particular aspect, or how people will grapple with death in the future, especially within it is maybe the ultimate form of social media, the business that you've created. So do you want to react to that? I know Peter has some questions too.
Yeah. Maybe I should just say that because now we since we live our lives more online, we are more open to our. I mean, we have friends on Facebook, or we post almost everything we do. What kind of food we had for dinner, or
it's all public.
Yeah, it's much more public, and also if something happens to a person, a lot of people will know that much more faster in real time, probably. Because now, or before, maybe you will see this, how do you say, in the
obituary.
In the paper. But now, in less than 5 minutes, all of your friends on Facebook or Twitter knows.
No, can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Have you had a client die yet?
No.
Okay, right.
So what's your vision of a digital afterlife?
Well, I mean, it's both what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. It's just basically like in the real world. We try to move the normal problems that we have in this sort of offline world, but just into the online world. So in the offline world, you have the problems of you have assets that you want someone to get. You have something that you might want to hide.
Yeah.
Don't want anyone to see that if you die.
Yeah.
You have some wishes about something. Who's going to get your cat?
Yes.
I mean, it might be silly things, and some things have some sort of monetary value, but you also have other wishes.
Yeah.
And we try to bring that into the online world because it's just the same. You have assets, they're immaterial, but they're still assets that has a value for you.
Could you give me eternal digital afterlife? I mean, if I want to live for maybe 10 years after I was physically dead, could you give me that service?
I mean, technically, yes.
Yeah.
But it's
a difficult business model.
It is.
Yeah.
It can be very expensive.
Yeah.
But we have the option today where you can actually forward your passwords to a relative with instructions. So we're kind of leaving that responsibility to your loved ones.
Okay. So if I wanted to broadcast a message, a birthday message on the next 10 birthdays, even though I'm dead, that would be the responsibility not of your company, but of my relatives if they wanted to do that. Okay, I understand. Great. And so how do you see this business maturing or expanding, or does it have a kind of dead end?
The morbid jokes.
Yeah.
We heard them all.
I'm sure.
No, but I mean, we see a lot of potential of expanding the business because there are a lot of different ways to go. Because as it looks now, it's more like a limited version as we needed to have before to launch the service. But now it's just starting to work a bit more and then develop other things you can add to it.
So, in fact, it's possible that you could offer me the opportunity to broadcast these birthday messages going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at all new services that we're adding and things. This was just, as Elin said, the minimum for us to launch.
Yeah.
So we're looking at heaps of stuff, but they're not really out in the open yet.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
No, I was just gonna. I mean, we also think that we get a lot of questions about are you gonna launch in different countries and we would like to just comment on that. That it's. I mean, internet has no boundaries, and it's a problem for everyone. Everyone's gonna die. Everyone's got some sort of asset that they want to control, maybe, or someone to have. And that's just for everyone in the world, no matter who you are or where you live. So that's why we see this sort of business as well as expandable, and that's why we find it so fascinating as well.
So, what type of clients do you have now? I mean, who are the first one to use your service?
Do you want to?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that.
A lot of women. We see two sort of typical groups or segments. People born in the 80s, 90s, who tend more to want to keep their information, deactivate some and keep some of the information, like your blog, for example. Because I mean that's sort of a document of your life, just like a diary or a photo album. And then we see sort of an older generation of women in their 40s, 50s that are more maybe they've seen a bit more of death.
Yeah. Okay.
They might have friends that have died, or death is just a bit closer to them in one way. Yeah. And they might have kids, and they're more concerned about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's what we've seen so far.
Okay.
And how about if you do? Peter and I work a lot in India, and actually next year we're thinking about doing a think tank on the future of death in India, which is a highly complex subject. So if you move into a country like India, where funeral directors now are one of the fastest growing trends in India because there are so many different religions, is there a one-size-fits-all for your business, or is it going to be spiritually or culturally specific if you move into different countries?
Well, I don't think we've got that set yet. As it looks now, we just sort of, here's the model, this is what it looks like, love it or hate it. We try not to go into religion or use symbols that sort of has to do anything with a certain religion. So we're trying to stay neutral, but I mean, you can never stay totally neutral. So, I don't know really.
No, because I mean, and there are many different religions on Facebook and Twitter as well. There is no boundaries there, so you don't see any difference between what we are doing and where the people are today.
There seems to be a spiritual trend going on, even a religious trend around the world. But you're not planning, or are you planning to profilate and do something with that?
There's so many things we can do. That's the problem. It is an interesting area because it's got, I think, a lot of people that are actually spiritually interested are interested in our business as well.
Okay.
We get a lot of mails where we can actually see that this person might have that kind of interest. So I don't think it's another business. It's actually probably merging.
Yeah.
It's all about death, afterlife. Do we reincarnate? Do we... Do I want to give my blog to myself in the future? I don't know.
This is a kind of digital recognition, isn't it? Kind of, rebirth or something.
Yeah. If you want, we're just sort of really bringing you a tool. But then what you decide that you want to do is up to you.
Yeah.
Especially
Nothing's
since
wrong.
you can give instructions to a relative, and then you can, if you want to rebirth your blog,
Yes.
then you can do it. You can just give instructions to someone.
I think what we're seeing too, and correct me if I get this wrong, that this emergence of spirituality is being of interest, especially to your generation, is just symptomatic of a larger interest in authenticity. For example, people looking at crafts, handmade one-of-a-kind crafts, or spirituality, all symptomatic of a search for authenticity. And then what is interesting, it seems to me, about your business is that it makes us wonder whether or not this digital afterlife is as authentic a afterlife as, or is it an acceptable level of reality or an acceptable level of authenticity to have someone, in effect, memorialized like this out there?
But it's just like when Facebook came, and this is not very long ago, but I remember the big sort of issue, topic in media, was that people were making fake identities and living with fake identities, getting friends, and as you talked about, Konstfack as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think that people do that anymore to a certain extent, because the offline world and the online world aren't separated today. They're just one world, and you do some parts online and you do some parts offline. And you can't really lie that much anymore because it's quite transparent. And you know that your employees are looking at your Facebook, and you know that everyone's sort of searching for you. You have market search companies that sort of trace your digital footprints, and so I think people are sort of tending to become more aware of what they're putting online. But that also makes that other sort of issues comes up as well, like death.
Yeah, well, because they're then conscious of what they're leaving online.
Yeah.
After
Because you care more about your sort of immaterial assets that you put up there. But it is a subject that's growing. I think when we started, it was about a year ago when we Googled, there was hardly any topics or subjects about it.
And now?
And now,
It's everything.
yeah.
We have to wrap this up because we're almost out of time. Do you have a last question you wanted to?
Well, we have seen this fascination for death coming as almost like a trend. It's almost, we get inspirations from death almost, like in film and art and so forth. Are we moving into a new medieval period when death is a more natural part of our lives?
I think it goes in cycles as well.
Because now it's in media, and you have it everywhere now. All the time, you get exposed to it every day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we're starting to talk about it, and get
But I think
more
it's been a hush subject for quite a long time as well.
This is opening the door to it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for having
And
us.
good luck.
We'll see you in our eternal afterlife.
Yes.
Online. Okay.